And we're live. This is Julian Jean-Pierre from the Royal St. Lucian Seamoss Company, and we're having a special event tonight. I'm trying to get all my devices going, but we're going to be talking with a special guest, Rita from Savoya Self Care, and specifically, we're going to be discussing breathwork, which is something that I find really amazing. I've done it a few times and I really liked it, and I want to share it with other people, and so that they can experience the magical powers of breath work. So she's getting ready. She's going to be coming on. But just to give a bit of background of her, Rita Savoya is a certified nutritionist. She's a functional breathing coach, yoga instructor, workplace wellness consultant, speaker, and mental health and longevity advocate. So she's really big on the mental wellness and the health, and creating a lifestyle that is positive and well-being. So yeah, until then, let's see. Hopefully she comes soon. We don't have to wait too long. But yeah, she'll probably be here in a few minutes. But till then, let me know if you guys have any Seamoss questions. Definitely, we will be talking about Seamoss a little bit through the night. But the big topic is definitely the breath work. And for me, I did I think I did maybe 2 or maybe 3 sessions of breath work. She does this event. We're going to be talking about it later. The new moon breath work event that she holds on every new moon, which she says that allows you to set different intentions, and helps create the path for the following month to come. And it is, doing the breath work is a lot of hard work for sure. But it gives you a definitely profound experience, and it really keeps you in touch with your body and your senses, because you're at certain points you're firing like all senses. You're breathing like crazy, and you're getting so much oxygen to your head. You feel like your head's gonna like explode at times. And I remember one time I took it, and we'll talk about it more in depth when we talk with her. But like, I had like a whole body cleanse where it was like right afterwards, I felt real sick, and like oh god, and I just like everything, just all this mucus, all this, just everything just came out of me, and I had like a flu kind of feeling for like a day or two, and then I felt better. But it was a pretty interesting experience to have, and I felt that it was the breathing that brought on this sense of how would you say it, like this cleansing, this like natural cleanse that my body did. So let's see what's up to everybody that's joined so far. Has anybody ever done the breath work at all? You know, because yeah, I'd be curious to know what other people's thoughts are about it. One of the things I could talk about before she comes on, Rita, is that we're now offering Seamoss powder, and this is really beautiful Seamoss powder. Very fine. This thing is like, I shouldn't even call it powder. It's like Seamoss flour. It's so light and fluffy, and there's no salty taste to it whatsoever. Um, it doesn't have like a strong sea taste to it or smell to it, which those that know that use powder can really have an effect on negative effect on your smoothies and your foods that you put the sea moss in. You don't want your food smelling or tasting like the ocean, and so this powder is done a really good job of doing it, and that's why we're selling it. It's on the website. I just finished taking photos of it. That's why I have this in this little container like this. How's the powder made? Well, I'm not exactly sure exactly how the powder is made, but I know that they thoroughly clean it and they use like a hammer mill grinder to grind it. And so it's just pure sea moss. This is the gold sea moss. We also have green sea moss, and then there's also this is the powdered sea moss, purple sea moss. You can see it's like a little bit of a purple color to it. Yeah. And so this is like our premium sea moss powder. We do have lower grades that are for a little bit less price, but they're not on the website. You just have to call us and ask us about the different types of powders that we have, and make sure that you get the powder that you're looking for. Because for some people, they don't need the really, they can get more of a coarser ground than this. Um, but this is really finely grinded. It's hard to get anything better than this. It's almost like dust. You have to be careful with it because it'll like float. Then you'll like if I did this, it would just everywhere. It's crazy. So I don't know what's taking her so long to get here. I want to talk about the breath work. And for those that are not familiar with breath work, it comes from this guy. I think his name is Wu Hoff or something like that. Vice did an article on them or a documentary where they went and visited him and saw how the this breathing technique can be used to allow them to climb mountains and join. To climb mountains. Sorry, I'm joining with Rita right now. She's just coming in. To climb mountains in a t-shirt. Let's see if she's joining. Hey, what's up?
Hello, hi.
Hey, good. You weren't able to figure out the restream, were you?
Let's see here. I think I'm good. Accessing your camera.
Yeah, access your camera.
Ready to join.
Yeah, you have to join.
Okay.
Now there you are.
Okay. Oh, there's back.
Yeah, let me turn my volume down here, and then that will change that.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know where to look. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. So amazing! Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm so excited to be here and talk about something that I'm really passionate about. So, and I have some props as well. So I'm ready to rock if you are as well. Like give a bit of a demonstration of the breath work.
Okay, let me see if I can raise your volume because they're saying we can't hear you clear.
Oh, okay. We can't hear you as clear.
Is that better?
Hi, hello, testing. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you pretty clear.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. So, Seamoss Vita, before we get started, she said I'll have my first breathwork experience on the 19th, and she's excited. That's awesome.
Okay. Yes, they hear us.
Mm-hmm. And don't worry about like looking into the camera. Like if they, what I mean, if you can't expect it to look in every camera.
Yeah.
Usually what I do is I have I have this phone. I put it on a stand right in front of here, and then that way it looks like I'm looking at both cameras.
Okay. I get it. All right. So I'm just gonna move this. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I think we're good.
So before you came on, I was just talking to a few people about the experience that I had on my first breath experience when I had that kind of cleansing feeling, and I went through that like flu experience, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I was so proud of you to actually try something new. Not actually, because you're into this stuff anyway, but to try it and really give it your best. And I remember one time, because you did it a couple of times. One time you actually felt a little bit under the weather, and then
Mhm.
after the breath work, you were actually feeling better. And the next day you felt even better. So that's
Yeah, that was the one where I had the like the cleanse and stuff like that, and so
hmm
yeah, it was yeah, it was definitely a unique experience, and I felt like lighter afterwards, you know, for sure.
yeah,
A
definitely.
lot of weight lifted off me.
Mm, that's the beauty, right? It's not just it's breathwork is a modality that we can actually use to help release, emotions, stress, tension on like a physical level, a mental level, emotional level. So like it really does. It's like a trifactor the way it works. It's just amazing. It's just such a beautiful healing modality. And you're right. I overheard you saying that Wim Hof,
Yes.
that's the man, Wim Hof. So he really defied all human capacity with what he does with not only his breath, but with cold exposure as well. But even before Wim Hof, I mean, there is the Tumo, there is Tibetan monks that do. There's stories of Tibetan monks where they are given a. Let me see if I can get this straight now. They're actually put a wet towel on their backs and they
Hmm.
will breathe a certain type of breathing,
Hmm.
probably some sort of fire breath, which is that really quick one that we do during this breath work, and they will dry the towel
Oh wow, like
on their backs.
completely yeah.
That's how like amazing our breath is. And then of course Wim Hof, he does some crazy stuff with breath. Like he's been injected in a lab, of course, all
Yeah,
controlled, with E.
like
coli, and he breathed his way out of that.
yeah, I
So
heard he did snake venom.
yeah, yeah, super cool stuff. Yeah, so he's really brought it back, but I mean, this is like ancient practice, right? In terms of breathing technique. And if you think of yoga, yoga means union of the body and the mind through the breath. So really, the postures of yoga, what we know today as modern day yoga, really it's uh, the foundations of yoga is to be in this meditative is to allow yourself to be in this meditative state to reach higher states of consciousness, right? But in order to reach those states you need to be meditating. In order to meditate you need to have a very flexible body, so you're not thinking of your backache as you're waiting to obviously meditate. So that's why you do these postures. The postures just to get you nice and flexible so that you can actually stay in meditation and not have to feel the aches and pains. And and the whole concept of yoga is even when you're doing the postures, and that's really forgotten in modern like sort of adoption of yoga,
Mhm.
is the breath. More than the posture, it's the breath. Are you doing the postures with the proper inhales and exhales, right? So the breath it's a practice in every single ancient culture, as well as if you look karate
Mhm.
is all about the breath too, right? Taekwondo, all of the martial arts too, it's all about the breath. So sports, so it's just really emerging again. It's sort of this lost art that we had. It's coming back, which is amazing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, my dream is to see as many um, breathwork studios as there are yoga studios today. So that would be my dream, is to see all of these breathwork studios around.
yeah, and I think there really should be because there's really a like generally like in our everyday lives we have no control over our breath. We just do it subconsciously, and you know what I mean. We're not really sort of self-aware of how much we're breathing. Are we breathing enough? And you know what I mean. Like if we try to increase our breathing, will it add more oxygen to the brain to make us smarter, or you know what I mean. Like yeah, so.
It's so true. You're so right. Like, but if it's interesting, Julian, if you watch a baby breathe, that's exactly how we should be breathing. And
Mhm.
so we know this innately. We have it, but then life just gets in the way, and most of us, about 90% of us, are breathing incorrectly.
So what are the things that causes us to breathe incorrectly?
A lot of it is stress,
Yeah.
right? That stress response, we're in this constant or acute state of stress.
Mhm.
So, the body's so smart. If it notices that you're stressed out, then it's gonna actually, um, well, it's really you that do it. Like the stress response is all about activating the sympathetic nervous system, right? So we have two parts of the autonomic, or sort of this, they used to be thought that it was the autopilot, but now we can actually control it, right? But
Mhm.
it's the autonomic nervous system has two parts: sympathetic nervous system and then the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is your fight, flight, and freeze, right? And then the parasympathetic is your rest, digest, recuperate, reset. What's
Mhm.
interesting and that people don't understand is that your body cannot heal if it's always here in the sympathetic nervous system state.
Yeah.
Why? Because it wants to keep you alive. It thinks there's perceived danger, and that's the issue that a lot of people don't understand, is that the body and the brain cannot differentiate between perceived stress and danger and
Yeah.
actual danger, right? So if I have somebody coming into this office right now with some sort of, wants to attack me, right? Or I have this deadline I need to meet, I'm going to kick off that same cascade of hormones to activate the sympathetic nervous system,
Mhm.
right? So my brain cannot tell the difference between, oh, I have a deadline or there's actual danger, because it wants to keep me alive. So that whole cascade of hormones will actually take flight, right? And then what does it do? So it's that upper chest breathing, like so you're moving your chest, upper chest, which is okay if you're in danger. We want to be running faster. We need that energy, right? We need that extra cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine to actually activate and kick in. So, but the thing is, when we are, or we do mouth breathing as well. When we are super stressed and activating the sympathetic nervous system, we're mouth breathing, right? We want to, so that we can send actually more oxygenated blood, not when we're mouth breathing, but when we mouth breathe. So when we actually do more of the chest breathing. And also what it does is that it actually not removes, but it sends fresh blood to extremities. So we can run faster, run away from our danger, or actually fight, right? Fight off our danger. So what if it does that, right? So if it's here, there's no way that you can be digesting your food properly, let's say, or it will not prioritize digesting your food because it wants to save your life, right? So that's why the worst thing you can do, everyone, if you're going to take anything, well, you're going to take a couple of nuggets, golden nuggets from this conversation, but the worst thing you can do is listen to the 6 o'clock news while you're eating dinner, because it's stressful, it's dreadful, it's negative. So you're again, remember, the brain cannot tell the difference between perceived danger. If you're reading that someone just got attacked, guess what? You're going to use that and kick off that cascade of hormones. So your body will not digest the food properly. And that's another thing that people, I'd love for people to know, is that you could only heal when you're in the parasympathetic nervous system state. This is the only place we can heal, right here. So in order to get to this place, we can use the breath to allow our heart rate to slow down, to actually engage the vagus nerve, which is this wandering nerve that actually starts at the back of your cranial nerve all the way down to your spine. And it actually has, it's one of the longest nerves that we have. So that actually activates that parasympathetic nervous system state. So it's super important to understand that we have this tool at our nose tip every single day, every 24/7 for free, that we can actually activate the parasympathetic, that part of the nervous system that we can rest and digest and heal and reset.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. And so, what is the proper way that we should be breathing?
Yeah, no, for sure. So there is this test. If we want to do this test,
Yeah.
let's do it. So it's called the control pause test.
Okay.
And what it does, it's not a test. Let's just call it a little assessment, okay? Because then when I say test, people are going to be like, oh. So
Yeah.
what it measures, it can actually, you know what, let's do it, and then I'll tell you what it measures. All right.
Okay.
So the way it works, we're going to take a nice deep breath in.
Okay.
Now, and then instead of deep, normal breath in. Normal breath out, whatever normal is to you. So I will explain it first. I'm going to demonstrate it and then we'll do it.
Okay.
But I do need, okay, I'll just count with my fingers, no problem. So basically what's going to happen is, so we're going to breathe normally in, breathe normally out. We'll do it 3 times. In, out, one more time, in, out. And then on the 3rd time, right, on the exhale, once we've emptied out our lungs, we hold. We hold the breath. I'm going to count. Actually, I can see here on the live stream the seconds. And then just put your hand up, Julian, to when you've actually taken that deep or that breath in. But the breath in shouldn't be like a gasp for air, because then that means you've held it for too long, right? It should be a natural breath in. All right. So I'm going to demonstrate now. Normal breath in, normal breath out, preferably through the nose. Normal breath in, normal breath out, normal breath in. And now on the out, once you've emptied out your lungs, hold the breath. And then just raise your hand when you actually need to gasp for air again. Come up for air. Okay? So you ready to do the test? That was just a demonstration.
I was doing it.
I know you were doing it. That was just a demonstration. Okay. So remember, just put your hand up so I know when to stop the timer.
Okay.
All right? So if you are watching, you can do this yourself, and then you can maybe time yourself either by looking at a stopwatch or even counting the seconds on your finger. Okay? And just let me know then in the chat what your score was. All right, so let's start this. Ready? In, out, in, out, in, out, and then just hold your breath. Hold your breath. You can even pinch your nose if that helps. And then just raise your hand. Okay. All right. So you, Julian, got 21 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you want to share in the chat what you just, what you got on this test. Control pause. So you got 21 seconds, and I'll share the results in just a bit. If you have some numbers coming in.
Is anybody doing the test? Give a thumbs up, I guess, if you're doing it. Well, I guess they might not be able to do it if they're in the middle of holding their breath.
Yeah. But that's a long time, actually.
Major
22 seconds, 23. Okay. And you got 21, Julian. That's funny. 21, 22, 23.
I could have held more, but I didn't want to gasp.
Exactly. Yeah, no, but that's the right way of doing it, because then you're cheating, right?
I didn't know when was going to be too much.
Exactly.
It's not a competition.
Exactly. It's not a competition. Don't worry about it. But who's to say that the lower number is the winner?
Yeah, that's what it's
Hey, Julian, how do you know? You still don't know what it means, right? What the actual scores mean. Exactly. All right. Okay, so what do they mean? If you got over 25 seconds, that means that you are functionally breathing. And I'll come to that in a second. What does that mean? Under 25 seconds, it's dysfunctional breathing. Now, for Major and the 23 and Julian 21, you're still very close to 25. But there's still a bit of dysfunctional breathing that I can probably...
Dysfunctional.
I know, I hate saying that word, but okay, you can optimize. Let's say there's an opportunity for you to optimize your breathing. Okay, that's what it tells me.
Yeah, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? You got to know where you stand so that you know what you need to fix. Right?
Exactly.
You know, you got to be honest of where your journey is, so you know where you got to take it. So yeah.
Right.
I'm fine. I'm going to change it. I'm going to do some breath sessions with you, Rita. And
Exactly. So what is the dysfunctional breathing? So you might be saying, but wait a minute, what does that mean exactly? So some of the symptoms is that upper chest breathing. Okay, so you can probably feel your shoulders when they're breathing, right? When you're breathing. A lot of times your mouth breathing. And you may not be doing it during the day, but you're probably doing it at night while you're sleeping, which, that's 7 hours for most of us. And how do you know that you're mouth breathing? Well, you wake up with a dry mouth. So obviously you're mouth breathing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things you can do if you're mouth breathing is tape. Have you heard of mouth taping?
No. You tape your mouth? Really? How do you sleep with the tape on your mouth?
Okay. So I think I'm just going to turn on a light here because it's getting really dark. But mouth breathing, mouth taping is something that has taken really like in the wellness industry. A lot of people are doing it. And I don't mean like hostage style. Like it's literally a little piece of tape and then just tape, you put it vertically and then just tape your mouth shut. So you can still breathe and you can still talk, but it actually trains your mouth and your jaw to stay shut during sleep. Okay, so that's all you're doing. So either you use a surgical tape, right? Or you can use Scotch tape, or you can use myo tape, which is like tapes that are made for. So I'm actually a functional breathing coach certified under Patrick McEwen, which he has this product called myo tape. So you can check that out. There's like specialty products for it. But like I said, you can use like surgical tape or regular tape as well. I use regular tape. So yes, have a look, have a try, and then see if you actually wake up. Like sometimes I find it in my hair, sometimes I find it on my pillow, like because I'm rolling around, I guess, in it. But
I couldn't sleep with it. It would bother me. I would make all night. Like I couldn't do it.
you gotta try. You gotta try. Give it a go and see if you actually sleep better.
Maybe, I mean, maybe I don't know. Oh yeah, I try. I'll see how it is. It either is going to work or it's not. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. No. Seriously though, give it a try. But a lot of us are mouth breathers, so that's dysfunctional breathing, right? So when you do notice yourself, let's say you're listening and you're not talking, try to close your mouth. Like be more aware now. Is my mouth open or closed, right? Because we want to be nasal breathing 99% of the times. Because the functional way, the proper way of breathing is nasal breathing. Why? Because the nose, although most of us don't like our nose, it's made to breathe. It's one of the main organs for breathing, right? There's the diaphragm, and then there's the actual our lungs, and then of course there's our nose. Why? Because it moistens. It is so intricate. Have you ever seen like a cross section of our nose? It's got so many. Oh, you'll have so much more respect for your nose and what it does. It filters the air, humidifies it. It actually there's oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? It detoxifies or it filters the air, humidifies it, moistens the air as well, right? And because in our nasal cavity, we produce nitric oxide. Have you heard of nitric oxide?
Well, yeah, they put it in cars and stuff like that. We produce it in our heads, really?
We produce it by nasal breathing. Isn't that crazy? And it's actually what they use in Viagra, by the way. Why? It's a vasodilator. So it opens up capillaries. It sends a fresh oxygenated blood to the area, right? Hence why they use it in Viagra. But they were also using it for COVID patients to recover from COVID. Again, because it's antiviral. That's the word I was looking for. The nose also helps with being antiviral, right? So even during, obviously, respiratory viruses, right? It's very, very beneficial to breathe through the nose. Why? Because it's a smaller area, right? And it filters the air. But in your mouth is a bigger hole, obviously, and there is no filtration. Everything, yeah, all the gunk will go from outside.
Yeah.
It will actually go into your throat and down to your lungs. So the number one thing you should be doing when there is some sort of respiratory virus is make sure you're breathing through your nose. So you're filtering that air. And when you breathe through your nose, you kickstart that nitric oxide in your nasal passage. And in the mouth, it gets produced very, very little. And nitric oxide, antiviral, antibacterial, it's one of the best molecules. It's so powerful, super powerful. And when we use our nose, we produce it. When we hum through the nose, humming, exactly. Hum your favorite song, you increase that production, Julian, by 15%. 15, sorry, not 15%, 15-fold, 15 times.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So humming your favorite song. So what I do, I have a little technique when I get my tension headaches. I usually get them on the left side of my brain. I hum my favorite song and I just visualize the blood going through my brain, and then it dissolved. Not kind of, it dissolves my headache. It literally, like, I could just feel my headache dissolving because of that nitric oxide. There's also research showing that where attention goes, energy flows. And this is, this is not woo-woo. There's research that's proven now with obviously all of the beautiful fMRI technology that we have available, that if we just breathe into that area and visualize the breath going into that area, the oxygen does get to that area. So that's how I know. Super cool. So try that next time before you grab, your painkiller, your headache painkiller. Try this natural way that we have at our nose tip.
This is my painkiller.
What is that? Hold on, I'm just going to turn on the light here. 1 second.
Turn on the light. That's my natural painkiller. I don't use chemicals. I hate taking pills. You know what I mean? Like vitamin D.
Oh, yeah, much better. Okay, yes. Yeah, it's getting dark here. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, so what else you want to ask me? Because I can go on and on and on. Oh, yeah, dysfunctional breathing. What else? Okay, so if you can actually hear yourself breathing, dysfunctional. Our breathing.
Oh, if I can actually hear myself. Oh, I thought you were going into saying something. I don't really hear. Like, I mean, I guess if I walk up a lot of stairs, I'll start hearing myself breathe.
Okay, that's normal. That's everybody for sure. Yeah. But like the wheezing, like that's definitely dysfunctional breathing, right? So our breathing should actually be very light. It should be very soft. And then also very deep. But I don't mean deep as in gasping for air. I'm deep using the diaphragm. So a crazy misconception out there is, and I would love to make that clear, is the bigger the breath, the more oxygen we're actually getting to ourselves. But that's actually a myth. We actually want to breathe less. Less is more. Yeah, because I don't want to get
more often, or
sorry,
like less periods but more often, or
just less air. We want to be breathing less air, because think about it. We have a certain number of breaths, right, in our lifetime. So the more breaths we conserve, the more energy we conserve, the longer we live. If you think of a turtle lives hundreds of years. They're very slow breathing animals. If you think of a dog, fast breathing, mouth breathing, panting, they don't really have that long of a life, right? And this was actually a yogi study that proved this with animals. I don't think we're much different, right? So it's all about conserving energy. It's all about breathing less is more. But the science behind that, which I think you'll appreciate, is that it's actually not oxygen or the intake of oxygen that allows more oxygenated blood to get to our cells, tissues, muscles, organs, and systems. It's actually the carbon dioxide tolerance. That's why we do the test to measure dysfunctional and functional breathing. Because the more you can tolerate carbon dioxide, hence why we do it on the exhale, not on the inhale, right? We don't hold our breath on the inhale, we hold it on the exhale.
Yeah.
We are training our body to tolerate carbon dioxide more. And because the more carbon dioxide you have in your body, that actually triggers hemoglobin to release oxygen into your cells, tissues, organs, muscles, and systems.
So you almost have to fill up with carbon dioxide for it to say to you, okay, we need more oxygen to the system.
That's how the brain knows to release oxygen, is the carbon dioxide tolerance. So the more we're actually expelling, the less oxygen is going to get to your cells, tissues, organs, and systems. Isn't that crazy? When I found this out, I was like, wow. And this is why Wim Hof, we train through breath work, right? We train through breath holds. We train through like tiny little stresses, right? Which is the hyperventilation. That's like a tiny little, cold showers. Those are called good stress, right? Because they're short periods of stress, getting your body outside of its comfort zone to build resilience, right? so then you can actually perform at higher levels.
Yeah, cold showers are pretty crazy. I've been starting to do that every once in a while, especially when I go in the sauna and like the temperature change is. Sometimes I am gassed, I'm like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, wow, like you know what I mean? It's like hard to breathe because it's such like my body goes in such a state of shock because it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? I'm fucking cold.
Yeah, but the best thing to do though, Julian, is to do some breath work before you get into the shower.
Okay.
Yeah, so before you get into the shower, you do some breath works. And okay, what you want to do, anytime we extend the exhale, so we
Yeah.
make the exhale longer than the inhale, we activate that parasympathetic nervous system. So that elongated exhale, automatically you will activate that actual rest and digest. So
So
you
that's
go,
the sigh, like.
and you want to do it through the nose, preferably, right? Remember, you're conserving that. We wanted that nasal nitric oxide, right? We want to produce that nitric oxide, and we also want to use the diaphragm. So in order to use the diaphragm, it's nasal breathing that activates it, right? It's not mouth breathing.
So it's important to, sorry to interrupt you, but so it's important to exhale through the nose as much as it's important to inhale through the nose.
Oh, 100%. If you can do all of your breathing through the nose, that would be ideal. And I tell this to my clients that are sports as well. That would be ideal. But of course, when you're really exercising strenuously or performing at high levels on the actual pitch or in the game, or yes, you can use your mouth more often. But during training, use your nose as much as possible. So
Yeah.
cold showers is so cool. The whole concept behind cold shower is when you go in there, you are shocking your body, right? And you're putting it under this stress. So once you get in there, you put it under this like stress for a couple of minutes, right? Not long, obviously, right? Because then it does subside, right? And then you get over it. It's not that cold after. Julian, I wash my hair with cold water. So my showers are like half an hour and I'm doing it all in cold water.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Well, sorry to interrupt you, but when I'm in St. Lucia, that's like I don't have a water heater to heat the water. So
exactly.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so you get used to it, right? Your body, actually, I want colder now. I'm like, oh, can I get a little bit cold? In the winter, it's a different story, especially Canadian winters. Ooh, it's really cold. Sometimes I'm like, why do I do this to myself? It's like torture. It's really cold. But so what it does is it actually, so that first like freak out that you do when you first get into the shower, you're teaching your body how to handle stress. Remember, your body cannot tell the difference between real stress and perceived stress. So next time you get that email, you get that nasty call from a client or whatever, you get that crazy stressful situation, your body's going to know how to respond to it because it's being adapted through these either breath work or cold. So that's all you're doing. You're training your body to help you when that stress hits.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you get started on this journey? Like even just like because you have like yoga instructor, the wellness and stuff. So tell me like a little bit about your sort of like history into
Yeah.
you know.
For sure. Thanks for asking. And for those of you that are going to listen to my story. So my story is actually, where do I start? So I was in HR before. So I have like 16 years of human resources experience. So I was always on a mission to help people become better versions of themselves, to help people get like amazing careers so they can live an awesome life. So I used to like do a lot of recruitment. So I'm just in the business of helping people, right? And I loved it. I was living in Dubai. I lived there for about 10 years, and I was actually running an HR consultancy for about 7 of those years. Now, for those of you that know Dubai, it's a country or a city of excess, like Michelin star restaurant opening up every week. Like there's always something somewhere to go, like that's really hot, and you want to obviously party. So I was like partying, I was drinking, I wasn't sleeping enough, I was eating out all the time, and it caused havoc on my digestive system. And as many of you may know, there is definitely a gut-brain connection. So I was feeling brain fog, I was feeling lethargic, I was feeling fatigue. I was actually pre-diabetic levels at my age, which was like crazy. But I was one of those like I wasn't overweight, but I was still pre-diabetic. It was crazy, and What else did I have? I had a lot of issues. Yeah. Oh, digestive issues, of course. I was digesting my food, always bloated. And then I said, okay, like I have to do something about this because like it's not going to end well, right? So then I went to go see a functional medicine doctor in Dubai. She is amazing, Dr. Leila Suda. Check her out. Shout out to Doctor. She's amazing, and she like really helped me because she went from a functional medicine angle, which it's getting to the root cause. So she could have easily given me a pre-diabetic pill, right, to take care of my pre-diabetes. But she's like, no, let's get to the root of what's causing your pre-diabetes, right? What's causing that brain fog? What's causing your digestive issues? So we did a bunch of tests, of course. That's the only way you can really get down to what's going on. And then, of course, some other questionnaires and assessments too. And we found out that I had like crazy mercury levels in my blood. Yeah, because I was eating a lot of tuna from a can.
Oh, wow.
Those used to be my quick lunches, right? I was an entrepreneur. I needed a quick lunch, tomato, cucumbers, and tuna in a can. And that is high. First of all, tuna itself, but then even the crap that's lining the can, right? All those toxic chemicals that's lining the can. So it was crazy. I had like high histamine levels that were causing, obviously, I used to get like these, my sinuses used to flare up and I used to like look like a monster, almost like swelled up. It was crazy. And so I did all that. I did all those tests. And I realized that, wow, I need to change my lifestyle. So I didn't party as much. I wasn't eating out as much. I was cooking more at home and I was sleeping better. And then I started doing yoga and I really got into it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. The last 5 minutes of yoga, some of you may know, is called Shavasana, where you're just laying there, corpse pose. And I loved it. I was like, oh, I want more of this. I'm going somewhere for like 5 minutes. It wasn't in this world and not this dimension. I want to go back. So I started doing more meditation. Then from meditation, I got into breath work, and and then I decided to. So 1 second. So I did the tests again, and they came back like almost normal. Like I still have digestive issues that I'm dealing with, but not obviously as bad. And then I started helping my mom that was going through her own like anxiety, weight loss, like severe weight loss, and I helped her. I helped my brother-in-law with his migraines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he hasn't had, knock on wood, because I removed the MSG from his diet. He's eating, a lot of, yeah.
Oh, wow. Was he Chinese? Why?
No, MSG is everywhere, Julian, everywhere, right? It's an additive.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere.
But it's in just mainly.
No. It's in Doritos.
I don't eat Doritos.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's not me. I mean, I do eat. What is this? Cheddar jalapeno Frito Lays. But
read me the ingredients on there. Let me see if it's in there, because sometimes it hides in a different name, under a different name.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
Like yeast extract is probably MSG.
Specially selected potatoes, vegetable oil seasoning, maltodextrin, modified milk ingredients, salt, cheddar, cheese powder, honey, cheese butter, parsley powder. No. Disodium phosphate and natural flavors.
Okay.
Not bad.
So it's not that bad, but the natural flavors, did you know that they don't have to disclose what's in there?
Yeah,
okay,
what is the natural flavor? Like natural flavor of what?
Exactly. So they don't need to disclose. However, here's a little nutrition lesson. Do you know that the ingredients, the order that they're listed in is, for example, if it says sugar as their first ingredient, that means that the product is mostly made up of sugar. Like that's the first product, which the largest amount is that. So although it said natural flavor at the end, that means that that's the least amount of that in the bag.
Yeah. At least it's the last ingredient.
Yeah. And honestly, Julian, I'm all about the 80-20 rule. So it's what you do 80% of the time, but not 20. That's what matters, is the 80%. So if you do go back and maybe to your old ways, but hopefully you don't, if you've actually established some really good behavior or habits, it's okay. Like I have pizza, I drink. You know, I love my Aperol spritz, which I know alcohol is, at the end of the day, is a toxin.
Yeah, but it's within moderation. You can't, how do you say it? You got to have a balance. You can't do it overboard. Hey, someone was complaining that there's an echo. Is there still an echo that you guys are hearing? Oh, there wasn't an echo earlier, but maybe what I'll do is change the volume like this. So maybe that's better. Can you hear me still? Rita, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe that will take care of the
I
echo.
think we're good.
Yeah. So when she speaks, you speak an echo, but I think it's because of the volume, because of I have the phone playing and you playing in the same screen, and sometimes there might be a little bit of an echo because of the delay. Who knows? Whatever. This is technology.
And live.
Yeah. They got a light here.
Nice. Okay, so where were we? I went all over the place. You got to keep me on track here. I have like ADHD too. So, and oh yeah, my story. Yeah, we're on my story. So after that, so I've helped all these family members. I've helped myself, and then in 2019, I decided to actually leave Dubai and come back to Canada. And I was like, I'm going to do this for a living because I love it so much. So I actually went back to school. I went back to nutrition school, got my diploma at IHN, the Institute of Holistic Nutrition. Shout out to Elizabeth there. The president is doing an amazing job training so many beautiful practitioners, really heart-centered practitioners, which is amazing. And then what was the kicker for me, my aha moment, Julian, was like I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome when I was 16. So that is a very common, I guess, syndrome or disease that women or young women get. And it's basically cysts around your ovaries, right?
Okay.
And when I was diagnosed with it at 16, they said the only thing you can do is go on the pill. That's it. And you might have actually problems with fertility, and you may not have any children, and then also your menstrual period is going to be irregular, right? And I was 16 at the time, and there was something innately in me that said, nah, I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I want to be on a pill for the rest of my life or until I'm ready to conceive, right? So I told my doctor, you know what, it's okay. You know what, I'll deal with this. I was in sports, so I didn't mind getting my period every 3 months. I was like, this actually serves me quite fine, right? And so, but when it came a little bit later, obviously I was a little concerned in my late 20s, early 30s, and I looked into it again, and it's a very, very common syndrome that women have, and really the only thing that they're told is that you need to go on the pill, and the pill has all kinds of like issues. Right? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely alternative ways that you can actually do instead of taking the pill. So I decided to obviously take this whole natural route, right? As I was facing my other issues, I took a test that I take almost every two years, and on the actual exam, so it was so crazy because I showed this as a presentation. It says like, why am I here? Reason: polycystic ovarian syndrome, irregular menses, and blah blah blah. And so it said there, no apparent cysts around the ovaries. What?
So you removed all that through the
I reversed a condition that conventional medicine says that you are stuck with, and you need to actually medicate yourself. I reversed this condition, and that was my aha moment. Like, wow, I need to do this for a living, because if I did it, if I helped my sister, my brother-in-law, my mom, and my clients now, then I need to do this for a living. So yeah, and that was my aha moment for sure, was when I reversed that, and I no longer have this PCOS, which is unheard of. It's crazy. So I was so happy. Yeah, and then that's how I got into. From there, I got into breathwork. And now I know. And then from there, like I learned more about breathwork, and I really loved it. And then my aunt passed away. She lost an 11-year battle with cancer, and we were very close. She was my best student. We do so many things and try these alternative things to help her. And I actually created a meditation and started breathing the breath work that you experience, and just had beautiful, beautiful experience where I saw visions of her telling me to move on because I was grieving her death like very poorly. And for me to like start this, you know, my journey to like really start my podcast, she even gave me some advice to start my podcasting. It was incredible. And that's when I decided, wow, if it did that for me, I need to share this modality with others. And that's why I'm doing the breath work.
Awesome. Awesome. So was that one of your profound experiences with breathwork, or do you have any others?
Oh my gosh, I've had so many. So I don't know if you've heard of the Sunday night scary, Sunday night anxiety.
No.
Okay, so I don't know, like I'm not sure if anyone that's joined in has heard of Sunday night anxiety or the Sunday night scaries. It's a thing, right? Like Sunday, for me, it would start in Sunday afternoon, like 2:00. I would start feeling anxious, like my stomach, like about the work week, the upcoming work week. And for, I don't know, 8 years, I was coming to me on a Monday morning. Like I was my own boss. So why was I feeling this anxiety?
Yeah.
And who knows, if we go back, it was probably like my dad or my parents yelling at me on a Sunday night, like, get ready for school or go to bed. Like they're not really, who knows, maybe not. But so I was like, I want to get rid of the Sunday night anxiety. Why do I even have it? And during the breath work, you know how we start with an intention? And the intention drives the experience, right? So my intention when I saw my aunt was just to reconnect with my aunt and just be at peace with her death. And that's exactly what happened. And so I remember it was a Wednesday, I did a breath work because obviously I do breath work myself. And I said, that's it. The intention, I want to get rid of this Sunday night anxiety. I did the class. And I left the room. I didn't know if it actually worked or not. I'm not sure. So Wednesday, the Sunday comes around, and I look around 2:00 because it would literally ruin my Sunday. 2:00 I would start feeling 6:00 dinner, like ugh, like it was nasty. And then 8:00 I was like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. And I couldn't sleep well. So I decided to breathe and do this class on a Wednesday. On the Sunday, I'm waiting at 2:00. I'm waiting for the anxious feeling. And I'm like, where is this anxious feeling? Come around. 6:00, nothing. 8, nothing. The following Sunday, nothing. I have not had Sunday night anxiety since. And it's been like over 6 months now.
Wow.
So that's how powerful. Yeah. Another thing, like I got into, I love my brother, we're very close, but I don't know, there was some tension, and I was like, I just want to forgive him. Like, I just want to forgive him. So that was my intention for the breath work. And after the breath work class, I kid you not, as soon as I left the door, I called him up and said, okay, what's going on, So it was so cool. It's so cool what can happen with breath work, right? Because it basically, we have this ego, right? And it really dissolves that ego for that period. You can do other things to help dissolve the ego, but for that period that you are, and it's not just during the breath work too. Things can happen 3-4 days after the breath work, which is amazing. But those are the kinds of things that you can expect, right? To help you with forgiveness, to help you with stress, tension, relieve anything, forgive. It's just beautiful. Letting go of relationships, toxic relationships. So it's like talk therapy, but probably faster. You can reach some results a lot faster.
Well, yeah, because even when you're doing the breath work, you're kind of within your own mind. You're doing a lot of thinking, a lot of sorting out, like what's going. You know what I mean? And then it does. How do you say it? It puts you under a lot of like tension, so that when you're done, at least from my experience, it's like you have this relief. It's almost like squeezing muscle or stretching something, and then afterwards it's all loose and sort of limber and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not physically, even mentally and emotionally, spiritually, like you're just releasing and dissolving that tension. Yeah, for sure.
Would you say that doing the breath work would be good for like someone that's interested in learning or creating manifestations? Like, would that help you manifest stuff?
Oh, 100%. Yes, you can use that as an intention for sure. Or have the manifestation, what you want to manifest, and then breathe that into your experience. Yeah, definitely, for sure. So you could actually set like a little meditation for yourself and keep doing it, right? Keep doing the manifesting for sure. So part of level 2, so what you experience, that's level 1, breathwork facilitator. Part of level 2 is taking some of the stuff that came up during the experience, and then really getting to the root of that. Like where did that's a limiting belief, right? That's,
Mhm.
or there's a core wound there. Like where did it come from? So this is called
Mhm.
breathwork integration. So that's kind of taking it to the next level, which is super cool too. And part of it is manifesting.
I have no limiting beliefs. My only problem is I have procrastination. I'm always putting things off. I'll do it later. I'll do it. You know what I mean? Like I have that and time management. That's like my hardest like challenge in life.
Yeah.
I don't manage time well. I'm always late, and I'm always trying to fit more things in that I have time for to do.
And that's why you're late, because
Yeah,
I
all
have
the
that. I
time.
have that issue too. I have that issue. I'm starting to learn how I cannot like schedule so many things in one day, because
Yeah.
then somebody's gonna suffer, right? Or something's gonna suffer, which
Um,
which is not cool. But the procrastination, we can definitely get to the core wound of that. Like, where
with
is that?
Breathwork?
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's try it one day.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I'd
Where did
love
it
to
come
do
from?
that.
Where did it start? And just break that pattern. So that's what was happening with the anxiety, right? Like that feeling of anxiety had nowhere to go because I broke that pattern through the breath work.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we can definitely work on that for sure.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, I'm up for the challenge. I
Yes.
need to start like doing the stuff to, because it's limiting my growth, in a sense, because I'm always putting things off that I know I need to get done, and I'm not managing the amount of things, and I'm also creating more work for me all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'll do stuff, or the worst thing I do is sometimes I'll just sit on the phone and talk for like 3 hours when I know I got people to meet and all this kind of stuff to do, and I'll just sit and talk with some guy about Seamoss. You know,
Yeah.
priorities. I'm very bad with my priorities. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is a tool you can use. I can
Mhm.
share that with you, the Eisenhower matrix after one of the American presidents. And it's this like quadrant that you can actually put your tasks in there. And it's a time management, I guess, management tool. And basically, you actually divide your tasks into importance and its urgency.
Yeah.
And then and then high and low and high and low. So if something is low importance and low urgency, forget about it. Don't even like, just throw it out. If
Schedule
it's
it. Yeah.
high importancy and low urgency, you can actually obviously do it another time, right? Or delegate, right?
Mhm.
And then you kind of work your way through it.
Hmm.
If it's high in urgency and high importance, those are the things you should be prioritizing. So having your talk with a friend for CMOS,
Yeah.
that's maybe a nice to do, right? Not a need to do.
No, of course.
So yeah, you can kind of organize your tasks. That's what I used to do with my personal leadership development clients. We would actually organize the tasks on a daily basis, right? And I would do them on a weekly and then monthly and then kind of daily. So you know what you're prioritizing. Hence the Eisenhower priority matrix.
I think I would need someone to do it for me, and then say, okay, here's all the things you do, and then when I get off the task, then they like whip me with like you know what I mean, like some kind of switch, and be like, get back on task. Because I would not be honest, and I would like put the important things, and like, oh, I can do that. It's not that important.
Yeah, what goes in there is, it needs to be obviously validated in
Yeah,
order for what to come out to be
for
valid
sure,
as well, right?
for sure. So, how long is a typical like breathwork session with you? Like, if someone were to do a session with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, so it depends, right? So if it's the experience, which is what you had, it's 90 minutes, right? And it's,
Mhm.
well, the first time 90 minutes. The second time is a little shorter because I don't have to go through the instructions, right? But basically the way we start is about 90 minutes. So we start with a bit of an intention. So this is the experience that you had, and we're going to invite everybody next week to this experience. So we're going to actually start with an intention
Okay.
and then some movement. And then the movement, we're shaking our bodies. Remember doing that? Like you shake the body in order to release stress and to make room for the breath work. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, but I will spoil alert. The reason why they don't get ulcers is because they shake their body after a stressful event. Any animal in the wild, when they get attacked and they survive the attack, what they'll do is put themselves in a safe space and give themselves a self seizure. They literally, because remember the fight or flight response, you're releasing cortisol. epinephrine, insulin, all kinds of hormones, and they want to release those hormones, shake it off, and go about your day and keep smiling. We as humans never do that. We keep it bottled in. It's probably even, generational trauma, generational stress, ancestral, who knows, right? It's in our tissues, right? All our issues are in our tissues. We never, and that's why dancing feels so good, right? That's why dancing is a modality of therapy, right? It's therapeutic. It feels so good. So we do the shaking. Then after the shaking, and it's only for about 5 minutes, we go into the breath work, and there's 6 different types of breathing techniques. After that, we go into a beautiful 3-part meditation, and that's what makes it different from other breathwork experiences, is that this is an experience, not just doing breathing. So a lot of times Wim Hof is amazing, but he kind of just leaves you there. Like after, it's like, okay, what do I do with all of this tension that came up, or stress, or all these feelings? Like nothing. You just go about your day. So what this, that's why it was created by Giovanni Bartolomeo. He wanted to have something that integrated what happened during the breath work. And that's the 3-part meditation that integrates this experience. Then we go into a beautiful song where I just leave you. And so throughout the whole experience, I'm guiding you through it, pushing you to go further. And then you go into this space where you integrate what's happening, and then I wake you up again to bring you back, and then we do a beautiful sharing circle, because oftentimes the sharing circle is super important, because what people's experiences, like other people can relate to, and it really unifies the group, which is super cool. And I've done these online and in person, and they're very powerful, both online and in person. So that's the experience.
Yeah.
So that's 90 minutes. And that's what we're going to be doing next week. And then you can also work with me on a one-to-one basis, right? Where we're doing coaching. Now, usually I work half an hour on a weekly basis, 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes even less. It really depends, and on a weekly basis. And we go through, again, we do that test or the assessment to test your functional and dysfunctional breathing. And then we target, we personalize. Okay, you need to work on your nasal breathing. You need to work on your diaphragm. You need to work on that carbon dioxide tolerance. So it's really personalized to what it is that you need. But now I'm actually certified to do the breathwork integration coaching. So we can do the experience, a mini version of the experience, and see what comes up. And then work our way through that. What's the limiting belief? What's the core wound? Okay, how are we going to do this? And the beauty of it, you get personalized meditations, breathwork meditations. Let's say you want to manifest something. Well, I'll send you a personalized, 5-10 minute manifesting video or not video, audio clip, and you can listen to this before bed. You can listen to it first thing in the morning, because that's when the mind is in those brain state waves where it's obviously very highly suggestible, right? And again, if you tell the subconscious mind to do it, it'll actually activate what's called the RAS, the reticular activation system, that you'll pull in these beautiful opportunities or coincidences.
No, nothing coincidence.
You created that coincidence, okay? Serendipity, right? All these serendipities, beautiful moments that you are creating. For example, when one of your friends is buying a new car, right? Or you're buying a car, before you buy the car, don't you see that car everywhere?
Yeah, once I think about the car and I'm driving the car, I start noticing it. Yeah.
Yes, that's your brain pulling in, because you've activated that reticular activation system that's happening. So we can do that through the manifesting process, through the breathwork coaching process.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know you offered that kind of service. And so when you do the guided meditations, like the audio clips, is it with your voice and stuff too?
Yes, Julian. Do you like my voice?
Yes, I love your voice. It's a beautiful voice. I'm almost like thinking, okay, maybe I should, what do I need to manifest now? I get you to do some audio clips for me, and do some guided meditation.
How about our retreat that we've been talking about forever, since 2020?
Yes.
3 years, Julian. Oh,
I know.
Shame on us. 3 years we've been talking about it. I still remember that conversation. March 2020.
Yeah, but sometimes things happen for a reason when they're ready to happen. Because look, now, remember we said we didn't know where to do the place. I found so many places now that we have that's available. And so I definitely want to try and do that soon. Plus we had COVID. COVID, there was no events going on, you know what I mean?
No, I know.
This year was the first year they brought back the jazz festival. They didn't have it any
Right.
year before. So you know what I mean? Like there was no, it was, how do you say it? It was all up in the air. But now we can plan something and do something. You know what I mean? And I think people would be how do you say it? Very they would benefit not only just from the breath work, but doing guided meditations, doing, because I think a lot of people need to sort of work on not only just manifesting, but being more aware of the where they want the direction of their lives to go, and that incorporates using manifesting to make the things that you want happen or appear. You know what I mean? So I think that would be really cool to do, and have people like, I think a lot of people would be interested in going on a trip like that, and then dieting and learning about different herbs and stuff like that. We can go in the jungle, do some hikes and stuff like that. So it should be, I think we got to plan it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the mud bath, right, with the minerals. That sounds
Oh my gosh,
so cool.
the mud bath is
The natural spring, right?
yes, it's an experience. Like there was a point when I was in St. Lucia, I was going there almost every day to this mud bath. You know what I mean? It was like how I'd start my day. And there they have cold showers there, because the showers are there, but there's no hot water. So I would go into the hot steam bath and then do a nice cold like plunge water and stuff.
Yeah, no, amazing. Yeah, that's super exciting. You got to do it. We got to do it. It'll happen.
So I have a question though. With your coaching, is it just with the breath work, or do you do other areas? Is it like a full like encompass thing, or is it that incorporates breath work and other stuff, or do you really just focus on the breath work?
So the breath work will be like a modality that can help me get to, I guess, the essence of why you're feeling this way, or why do you have this self-talk, or why do you have procrastination, right? It'll help me to unlock that. The breath work will help that. But it's really you're coming up, and that's the difference between mentoring and coaching, right? You're coming up with those answers. You're coming up with what to do next, because you're allowing the breath work will actually open you up, and you're allowing your subconscious mind to lead that solution for you. So in the solution, then I can bring in obviously my professional, personal, career development experience that I used to have. For example, the Eisenhower like matrix. I can bring in those tools for you, and then of course I can bring in the nutrition, the nutritional planning, and obviously the detox, how to put together detox programs for the food component of it, for sure. Yoga, like movement, maybe I can recommend, or maybe we could do together like a yin yoga class, because everybody does yang, nobody's talking yin, and that's how you get to the deep fascia.
What's the, this is new to me. What's the yin and the yang?
Oh, okay. So most yoga out there is this fast pace, almost like a workout, right? Yoga. So we're doing like flows and very, very
the ashwagandha stuff,
Ashtanga.
Ashtanga, whatever.
Yeah, ashwagandha is like the herb, is the adaptogen. That's good too. Yeah, the Ashtanga, because that's what I'm trained in. Yes, because I was like, okay, what's the most difficult yoga? And then I was like, Ashtanga. I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want to learn. Because if you could do that one, then the other ones are obviously a little easier. However, everyone forgets. Remember, we're always this go society. Like we almost believe that slowing down and resetting is like, no, you can't do that. I'll rest when I die. So the yin is actually holding poses for about 2 to 3 minutes. And you know how difficult that is, Julian? Because your mind is always racing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like meditative yoga, and you're staying in these beautiful poses. And today I did a hip opener. I don't know if you saw my story, and I held it for like 2 to 3 minutes, and I took pictures. I didn't actually do a video because it's boring to watch a yin yoga class, right? Or to do a yin yoga class. People are like, oh, it's boring. I'm not really moving enough. I'm not sweating. But we need it again to balance that yang lifestyle. So what it does, the yin yoga, is we go deep into the fascia layers of our tissues, right? And there's actual fascia experts where they check this out on YouTube or even Instagram. They actually they do these crazy amazing massages that they release so much tension from people's tissues. Again, our issues are in our tissues. People start crying. they start screaming, they start yelling, like it's just amazing, right?
I want to do that faster work. They have it at my
Yeah,
gym.
where
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But you can have similar experiences through a yin yoga practice. So we can do that.
Okay, let's do it. Because I used to do hatha yoga.
Yeah, so that's slower, but it's still moving. The
Yeah.
yin is you're not moving for 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes even longer, sometimes like 5 minutes, and it's just like, oh my gosh, why? Like you just want to move, right? We're
Yeah.
so used to doing, we
Mhm.
forgot how to be, how to
But are they
human
stretch
being.
poses, or are they starting to interrupt? But are they stretch poses, or are they just like still poses? Like I just
No, stretch. You're
okay,
still stretching.
okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure we're not being statues in the yoga.
Maybe I'll do that with you just to play around
Yeah.
with you for a bit. No,
Yeah.
you gotta hold it like this. You gotta keep your arm
Yeah.
up,
I mean, like this girl's messing with me. I know it now.
and then I'll play the Barbie song. I'm a Barbie girl. You'll be like, Ken.
I'm the black Ken. Yeah.
Remember there was that trend going on for a
What
while that we were
the
taking videos.
freezing?
Do you remember that? I was in Dubai. I remember.
I know there was a time where everybody was messing people where they would just, and then you'd be like, is the screen frozen? Is he dead?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, we can. Okay, so major melt. Can you type that? Type. Sorry, can you just tell me what you want me to type in, and then we'll do that. We'll get that to you.
I'm not sure. What do
So
you mean? There's no questions there.
I see here. Can you type that? I'm not sure on Instagram. So okay, so do we want to talk more about like what's going on next week?
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
So every new moon, I have these online sessions, and I would love for to extend this invitation to your community and come and try out this new moon experience. So it's going to be the experience that we just talked about, the 90 minutes of
Mhm.
breath work, right? And then we're going to actually marry that up with the new moon. So I feel like there's so much full moon stuff going on, but we forget about the new moon. The new moon is very important for creating new things and letting go of things that no longer serve us and really focusing on the new. And every month there's always a beautiful theme. And for in August, I'm not sure, but actually today's a really cool portal, by the way, Julian. Today's the 8/8 portal.
Really?
So yeah,
What does that mean?
if you want to do some, it's entering. It can allow you to enter like really cool manifesting realms. August 8th, yeah, the portal of Leo, super cool for creation. And
I just put your
and
link there.
yeah, so we can do that on the 15th. Okay, we're going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we will obviously link up all the links to the how to register and get on there. And yeah, experience this amazing modality that everyone says it's truly like transformation. It's called the elemental rhythm breathwork experience because we're really using the breath to break through shit that we no longer need, stuff that's keeping us, from living. And I know this sounds so cliche, but it's true. The highest vibrating life. Like the reason why we're on this earth is to really truly live the life we deserve. And you need to do something about it if you're stuck and you don't like what's going on in your life right now. And one of the ways to gain some clarity, to gain some actual confidence in taking that step forward can be breathwork. Breathwork could be that modality that can help you do that.
Yeah. I'm just putting on your website here on the Instagram. I just pinned it. That's the right website, right?
Yes.
Savoya Self Care. Yeah. That's awesome. And I put the link also to in the Facebook chat window to like for those that want to get more information on the event, because when you go to the web page, it has like a little video that goes in, and those in the Instagram. If you go to the Savoya Self Care and then look under the tab events, you could scroll down to the online new moon breath sessions, and then there's a link to get your tickets, and then there it will show you how to register, and get more details on the breathwork, you got a nice little video there of you there with your curly hair and all. Yeah.
Yep, taking advantage of all the amazing things that breath can do. Oh yeah, another thing about like when I do these live, because I think online they don't pick up as well, is I actually use amazing instruments, and I'm taking singing classes, Julian. Did I tell you?
No. Wow. So you're
Yes,
gonna be
because I want to
singing?
use my voice. Yeah, I want to use my voice more during the breathwork experience. Like I want to be singing with the singing bowl. So I have this beautiful crystal quartz singing
Sound
bowl.
bowl. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, can you see? Hold on, let me
Yeah, I
just
can see
pick
it.
up. I know you could see it, but can you pick up the sound? Like, what does it sound like?
Yeah, I can hear it. That I can't hear. Now I hear it. I always like get scared of these bowls because I feel like they're unlocking some kind of like secret mystery where it's gonna like take control. Like, look, you're like putting me under some hypnosis. Next thing you know, I'm going to the bank machine. I'm like, why am I giving her all my money? Yeah.
First of all, there's no hypnosis without all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So you
Yeah.
decide how you want to play. You can always tell, no matter how good the person is that's hypnotizing you. But it's true. This is bringing us into another realm. First of all, it's quartz. So it's a precious stone, which is amazing and can literally is obviously can take you wherever you want it to take. And then adding the music to the breathwork, it just adds another level of incredible transformation, like really opening you up. And so I do this at the end where
Yeah.
people have already breathed and they've integrated, and so to really, really bring it home. So yeah, I'm super excited. And what I want to do is to sing with the singing bowl and other instruments. Then I have this beautiful koshi. Can you hear this?
Yeah. That's nice. It's like a wind chime.
Oh, so sorry. So the quartz Tibetan singing bowl is actually tuned to the heart chakra.
Okay.
So as I'm really connecting with your heart and the heart chakra, and this is actually air. So it's a wind chime, the elements of air. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like
and then I'll
really unique, random.
do some drumming, and then I'll use a bit of yeah, so to really bring the experience.
And you'll be doing that on this next event, right? You'll be
So
using all those tools, or just one or
yes.
two of them?
So usually, sometimes, like I'll have to see how it's going with the stream. Sometimes I feel like the feedback I get was it didn't actually pick up the instrument. So I do them in person. So that's another event, maybe in person. But I will bring them for sure. I'll put them on and see if
Yeah.
it works.
Oh, I don't know. You don't have to if you don't want to. I was just curious if that's part of
No,
your
of course,
your
of course.
your
Yeah,
new
sometimes Zoom is funny that way. Sometimes it works, and then sometimes it doesn't. It's weird in terms of the connection that I have.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know like with the way a lot of these online streaming servers do, they like compress the bandwidth, or they, you know what I mean, they squeeze the audio and stuff like that, and so certain frequencies probably get tuned out or something. They
Yeah,
probably intentionally turned out the heart frequency so no one can fall in love or have good heart.
connect with their heart. Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
I think
There
so.
we go. There we go.
I know we can't play music on Instagram because it will get shut down. So if I were to play some music right now, after a while, it'll maybe not even 15 minutes. It'll
Yeah.
definitely get shut down. So sometime, yeah, I wonder if it works the same with the singing bowls. Probably not. I have to try.
Well, it will get shut down if the music is copyright. Like if they go
Yeah.
and find that you have sort of like a copyright music, they'll shut it down, which just sucks. Because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, guys, like, how much are you going to monetize things? Like, we can't even enjoy ourselves and listen to music in the background without having to pay some kind of streaming fee. It's ridiculous.
That's another thing I forgot to mention. Wow, I can believe. So it's called the elemental rhythm. Elemental because we're breathing to the different elements: earth, air, water, fire. Sorry, earth, water, air, and fire. And then there's the breath hold, and then there's the humming that we do. So those are the different types of breathing techniques. But we actually do it to the rhythm of beautiful. Like it depends on the facilitator, but I do a lot of shamanic, ancient, like indigenous First Nation sounds. So I bring in a lot of that. I do a lot of like Gaelic sounds too, and I love that too. So it's really, really powerful music that gets added to the experience. So that's something again that's very unique for this type of breathing technique.
Yeah,
Or
it helps
experience.
it almost like helps you go to another dimension. You know what I mean? In a sense, helps
Yeah.
you go within yourself. And I think not enough people know how to really go within. I don't know how to explain it right, but you know what I mean? Like to basically go into their own subconscious or their own mind. I do it a lot because I like really kind of like working out my problems inside that space. Whether like I find I like. I get the answers more fluidly than I am when I'm sort of trying to solve the problem, you know, in the physical, you know.
Yeah, amazing. That's how the greats did it. Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison. Like that's what they would do is actually move away from the problem. And I don't know if it was, I can't remember who it was, but he would take naps. If it was either Albert Einstein or Thomas Edison, I can't remember. They would take naps with a ball in their hand. And then when the ball would drop, they would wake up and like all of a sudden get that inspiration or that idea or that creativity. That happens to me in the shower because you're doing like monotonous tasks. You're not using your your prefrontal cortex. So you're doing stuff, you know, and that's when your sort of your creativity can come in, right?
You go
Tap
in
into
within
it for the
yourself.
first time. So I get my best ideas or right before sleep or right before waking up.
I've solved many problems by and it's like my spirit says it's time for you to relax. Go take a nap, and then you'll get the answer when you wake up. And I always do.
Yes, exactly. So program your subconscious mind to solve the problem, and then when you wake up in the morning, usually.
Yeah, sometimes even like I just sleep for an hour.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's probably a little too much, Julian, but like a good 20-minute nap. Oh, there's actually another type of yoga. It's called Yoga Nidra. So if you guys want to check this out, Nidra. Yoga Nidra is called the yogi sleep. And sometimes when I'm feeling really like energy levels are super low, all you need to do is 20 minutes of this, and it literally re-energizes your body. But you could also do it as a way to fall asleep, to help you fall asleep. Before sleeping. So it's just sort of going into these different types of brainwave states where you're not completely like in obviously the last sleep state. You're not in that deep sleep state, but you're somewhere, the REM, but you're somewhere in between, and that you're still allowing your body to relax. And it actually works amazing. Like there's some that are 10 minutes. Check it out on YouTube. Actually, I should create my own, and it works like crazy. It works amazing. So I use that to help me with solving problems and creativity too.
Have you ever had an out of body experience?
Yes, with my Kundalini yoga. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? I put it in my stories. I kind of write about it. I put it in as an actual post. Oh yeah. Kundalini yoga is activating your sexual energy. So it's a type of yoga, and it's not like nothing to do. Well, I guess it does, but it's more about it's a full body like experience. And I definitely went somewhere else. I felt like my generational pain, feminine generational pains, like my mother's, my grandmother's, my great grandmother. Really, and I went somewhere else. I was not in the actual Palapa, which was in Mexico. I wasn't under the Palapa. I went somewhere else. So yes, breathing, and a lot of it has to do with breathing too, and through my breathwork classes for sure. I mean, a lot of people. So I used to do these Thai Park in Toronto, right? Huge park. I was right off of Bloor. I was so mad when I saw that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so loud here. Street cars, like obviously cars. But all of the people that came, they said, Rita, I didn't even know that we were at High Park. I went somewhere else. So a lot of the feedback that I get from people that try the experience is that they definitely go somewhere else.
Yeah, you go within yourself and you start, you know what I mean? You tune the outward senses and stuff like that.
Yeah, you turn off that mode default network, right? That's usually where the ego sits. You turn that off during breath work. And another thing, Julian, a lot of people that do this, they say, people that have done plant medicine, they say it's very, very similar to a mini plant medicine ceremony without doing or taking anything exogenously. You're literally using your own breath. And that's what Wim Hof says, right? Getting high on your own supply.
Yeah. Getting high on the oxygen. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And the carbon dioxide tolerance, right?
Mhm.
Holding on to more carbon dioxide.
Nice, nice. We talked so much about it. Is there anything you would want to add about breath work? Or is there anything you feel like we haven't covered? Or
I know we covered so much. I think don't get like for anyone that wants to start their breathwork journey, don't get overwhelmed with all, where do I start? What do I do? I think the best thing you can do is just be present. Take a couple of minutes a day and just be present with your breath. Like, am I breathing too loud? Am I breathing through my nose? Is my chest moving? Am I allowing my diaphragm to actually expand when I inhale and then contract when I exhale? So sort of, asking yourself these questions throughout the day before you actually eat your meal. You can totally just take a couple of breaths before meals. Amazing. Like breathe through that, like bring that back. Like before you eat your meals, because again, you're tapping into that rest and digest. You're allowing your body to prepare for digestion, right? So just checking in with your breathing, I think start there, and then kind of, okay, I think I need more help with this, and reach out to someone, that can expedite your journey, or go get on YouTube. There's so many videos on different breathing techniques and that you can try and see what resonates with you, right? So that's another thing too. You can check out my YouTube channel, and I do have some videos for you there. Some are 5 minutes, some are 15 minutes, some are
What's the YouTube channel?
Savoya Self Care.
So everything's kind of like under the Savoya Self Care brand. So almost like if you were to Google search on any platform Savoya Self Care, they would be able to find you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Except for my Health Happiness Hacker, because my Savoya Self Care got shut down.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But I think even when you do Savoya Self Care, your name shows up. Like the Health Happiness Hacker help it shows up.
Yes, because of my name, right? Like Rita. Rita Savoya. Yeah. So I think there's so much more to say about breath work, but just give it a try. Like what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose.
Is there anything you could say you could like do like a quick thing that would like say in the morning that would help set your day, like or not set your day, but help like get your breathing on track, like you know what I mean, kind of like reset your breathing or something like that? Is there anything you could do?
Yeah, I know there's so many. But I love it's from the Heart Math Institute, and it's called the Quick Coherence Technique. And literally so before I get up, I'm still there laying in bed. I put my left hand on my heart to connect with my heart, and I literally breathe through the nose in, to allowing the belly to rise on the inhale. Let's do this together.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to inhale. So we always want our spine straight just to connect, right? And not slouch. We want to uncross our feet if we're sitting or laying down.
Yeah.
So we're going to inhale through the nose, allowing the belly to rise. And then exhale through the nose. And the belly contracts, right? Comes towards the belly, the spine. In through the nose. And out through the nose. In and out. Now we're going to actually breathe in and then extend the exhale. So make the exhales a little longer than the inhales. So we're not freaking out and jumping out of bed. We're telling our body that it's okay. We got this. We got the day ahead of us, even though we have a long list of things to do, kids to take care of, a business to run. We got this, right? So extending those exhales. You're telling the body that you're okay, you're supported, you're safe. And then we're going to switch the breathing to the heart and breathe into the heart area. So remember, where attention goes, energy flows. So we're energizing this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive. And then as we're breathing into our heart, I just visualize someone that I'm grateful for. So let's do that right now. Visualize someone that you're grateful for, living our past. It could even be a pet.
I'm visualizing you, just so you know.
Oh, love
Yeah,
you.
I'm grateful for you.
And so let's send this person, pet, all the love, the gratitude, and the appreciation for them being in your life. Send it to them. And then you take a nice deep inhale. And then the exhale is going to be a hum. So,
Cool. Where I was kind of like today, I feel a little kind of energized.
And honestly, Julian, that took even longer than I usually take because I was explaining it. But
Yeah.
literally, like 5 minutes. And who doesn't have 5 minutes? You know,
Yeah.
instead of checking your phone, because that's usually what we all do, is
It makes you feeling worse. Sorry to interrupt you, but
that's just sending like, oh my God, alert, alert, like we're under stress mode, right? So that's why the first thing you should be doing is doing some sort of relaxing technique, then going outside for some sunlight, going for a walk, no sunglasses, allow those rays to hit your eyes, because then that kickstarts the whole circadian rhythm and then puts you on, and then go back to the house. Maybe do some little bit of movement and then check your phone, believe it or not.
yeah. You know what? Thinking about my phone, it's like my experience with my phone, especially in the morning, it's almost like I feel like I'm a junkie. Where it's like I get on and I start doing this stuff, and then I realize what I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like I took the drug, and then I'm like, I feel so shamed. Like, oh my God, I just wasted an hour on this. I got all this stuff to do, and this is why your life sucks, and this is why you can't get anything done. Why do you just want to like throw the phone?
But that's what it does, right? It's the
Yeah.
dopamine hits, right? It's the dopamine. It is. It is like a drug, 100%. And they know it. The way they built it is that's exactly what they want us to do, right? So really, don't sleep with your phone in your bedroom. Like really, if you can, or put it on airplane mode. But mine does. Mine is not in my bedroom. No, my bedroom is like super sacred for sleeping, and yeah, for sleeping. So that's it. Like there are no electronics. I honestly, people are like, oh, so how do you wake up with an alarm? I bought one of those old schools, like ding, 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 that wakes you up like that. One of those old schools, battery operated alarms.
I have to fall asleep to the TV. I sleep to the TV every night.
But that blue light is not like that's not restorative rest. Like because basically, Julian, you're not producing melatonin.
But I put it on sleep, so that like half an hour the TV's off, and I'm asleep. It takes me like 20 minutes to fall asleep, but I have to fall asleep. If I like try to like I'm staring at the ceiling, I'm listening to every sound. I'm like, what was that? This and that, you know. I hear the people in the hallway talking.
You're probably sleeping, but I would love for you to try not doing that and doing like more of a 3 hours before, like having a different bedroom routine. And we can definitely talk about that because then you'll notice the difference. Like the way you wake up, so much more refreshed. Oh, somebody said garden fever. It loves gardening. You helped me a lot with the breathing. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Yeah, I know. So it takes like 2 seconds, like less than 5 minutes to bring your body to the state, your nervous system to the state of rest, recovery.
And so again, when's your next session?
Yes, it's going to be August 15th at 7 p.m. for the new moon breathwork.
And that's like on a Wednesday or a Friday? Or
I believe it's a Tuesday. So it's next week Tuesday. Yeah.
The next Tuesday. Time flies.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and be there because I want to start setting some new intentions. And I have a lot of stress for the last like couple of weeks of just all things every day in my life going on. It's like, you know, this Seamoss business, I feel like sometimes I'm like a fireman. All I do is just put out fires and answer complaints and deal with tensions and stuff. And so, yeah, I'd like to like, you know, start managing my stress more. And like we talked earlier, like getting over that procrastination and just trying to rebuild. What I'm learning is, are you familiar with like a paradigm, like your self-conscious paradigm? That I want to start trying to work on and rebuild. So basically just rebuilding subconscious habits, because there's a lot of habits I notice that I do. subconsciously that it's just like kind of like it's holding me back from really like being more efficient with my time and my what I get done in a day.
Amazing. Well, Julian, the reason why I'm saying amazing is the first step in any sort of transformation, in any habitual, like sustainable habitual change is self-awareness. And you're already 80% there.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Then that's why I'm always looking at myself, trying to say, okay, what can I do? What am I doing that's like holding me back from what I want? What can I change about myself that will get me closer to where I need to go? What is wrong with me? What do I need to fix? Like, how do you fix something if you think there's nothing wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't
Yeah.
fix nothing. So, and I'm okay with that because I know I can fix it. I know whatever issues I have, if I put enough desire behind it, I can change the direction of where I'm going.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for this. Thank you for this opportunity,
No problem.
sharing this modality, sharing my story. Thank you with your community. Thank you. I so
I
appreciate you.
I enjoyed it so much, and we don't really get enough time to talk, me and you, and so it was good to kind of hang out and chill and learn about the breath work and get more in depth for it. I mean, I've done it a few times, so I'm very experienced, but I'm happy to share it with the community to let them know because it has had a positive impact, I feel like I need to do it more often. I don't incorporate it enough as I should, but when I have, I've definitely seen improvements like even like for the next few days up until the next month or so where what I mean, my mind's more freer, I'm more limber, I feel kind of lighter in my life. Sometimes the stress and everything it creates such a weight on you,
Yeah.
that you don't realize you have that weight until it's lifted.
Yes. That heaviness for
Yeah,
sure.
and you're like, I can breathe. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing you then next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, we might see each other on Monday for the cold plunge, actually.
Yes, the
Yes.
full immersion. I'm gonna try and videotape. I'm gonna bring my GoPro. I want people to see me freak out and go through that tub and stuff like that.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of the evening.
Yeah,
Sleep
I mean,
well, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy evening and tuning in.
yeah. Well, actually, before we go, I wonder. There's a couple people in the room. I wonder if they have any questions before we go about. Give me like 1 minute to ask them. Hey, guys, if you have any questions before she goes, because we are going to end it, but you know, I mean, I asked a lot of questions. I probably answered most of them, but in case there are some questions that you have, give a minute and see. No, you're too late. You didn't type fast enough. All right, Rita. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you have it's getting close to your 10 o'clock time. Yes, I know. I'm sorry to keep you so late.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I appreciate
And this overhead lighting is like killing me right now because that's the thing. Like this is like simulating the sun, so my brain is not producing the melatonin because it thinks we're outside. So,
yeah, true, right out. All right, so let's talk again soon. Let's set up that time for the immersions. Maybe I'll do a quick live stream when you guys see when I'm there. When I actually do the plunge, you'll see me because that's the one thing I'm kind of like dreading is that initial shock of getting.
Oh,
into
it's
that
gonna
ice
be
bath.
amazing. It's gonna be, and all we need is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's it to reap all the benefits of an ice bath. 2 minutes and 30. That's all.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm gonna be
Well,
an
it's
ice
gonna be
cube.
fun.
I'm gonna be an ice cube. All right. Well, thank
All
you
right.
very much, everybody, for joining and watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. And yeah,
Take care,
Rita.
brother.
We'll
Thank
talk to you
you.
later.
Love you.
Okay.
Ciao. Ciao.
All right, guys. Well, that was a great session. I was really glad that I did that and invited her on. I learned a lot more than I knew already about breath work and then all the other stuff surrounding the breath work and the yoga and stuff. So I hope you guys found that informative. Again, if you have a chance, go check her out, Savoia, Savoia, selfcare.com. She's got a lot of information on there, not just about the breath work, but about all the other wellness healing stuff that she works on. And I really encourage you guys to at least check her out and see she can do something to help improve your life if you feel that your life needs improving. I know that it's improved my life, and that's why I've been willing to share it. So until then, guys, I hope to see you guys soon. We can talk more about Seamoss and some other stuff, whatever you feel like it. And until next time, I'll see you. And don't forget to take your Seamoss. All right, take care.